Hi, and welcome to Lines on Design. I love these kinds of shows, Alan. Our friend has joined us from EcoFoam. And you know what? It just isn't the same talking unless we are in an attic and can really see what you are doing. It's a treat once again to have you here. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for
having me. And I said as
me.
I'm running up in the attic, I'm glad I didn't wear high heels climbing up here. We got a lot to talk about today, and I think I'd kind of like to go back to insulation basics and talk a little bit about what you do in EcoFoam and what sets you all apart.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to be here and to discuss ways not only that people can save money, but improve the quality of the air in their home and make their homes more enjoyable in the long run. To talk about insulation, we first want to reference what traditional insulations are like. This is an example of fiberglass insulation that you'd find in most homes today.
And that's what was typically used? Fiberglass. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Fiberglass and loose blown-in insulation.
Okay. All right.
Now, there are a lot of problems that can be associated with this type of insulation. Over time, it deteriorates, so it can lose its R value and become less effective.
Talk to me about R value before we go on.
R value is the resistance of an insulator to temperature change, to allowing temperature transfer.
The resistance
So the higher the R value, the greater an insulation material's ability is to resist temperature change.
Why is that so important in a home?
Because you want your home to maintain the most constant temperature it can, whether it be in the summertime and you're trying to shield your home from the heat and the moisture of our climate down here, or the winter time when, even though it's not that cold down here, it still can be quite cold in the winter. Most of that can be felt just with a short visit to almost anyone's attic these days, unless they have spray foam insulation.
All right.
Some of the other problems that you'll encounter with traditional forms of insulation, if it is not properly installed, you're going to have air gaps at the edges of this insulation, which is going to increase the potential for air leakage.
Is moisture as much a problem as heat and cold?
Moisture is a big problem especially in vented attic areas, which again is another advantage to spray foam because we convert that vented attic to a non-vented attic.
Okay, we convert the vented to a non-vented. Now we're in an attic right now. What would that actually mean and look like to the owner here?
Traditionally, this attic would have been exposed. You would see the wooden
beams here?
Yeah, the ceiling of the attic above us here. By installing the spray foam below the attic, below the roof deck itself. Now we've encapsulated the entire attic space. So we have moved the insulation envelope up to include not only the air conditioning unit itself, the main ductwork, all of that can be affected by a vented attic system.
Let me ask you a question, and I don't mean to interrupt you because I know you've got lots more to tell us, but one of the things I want to know is, does this have to happen in new houses? Can this happen in a house as I guess retrofitting is what you call it?
We do call that a retrofit, and that is a large part of our business. Almost any home today can be retrofit with spray foam and enjoy the benefits of it.
Will I notice right away in my heating bill? Will I notice it in my comfort level? Will I notice it in the humidity that I get throughout the house?
There are so many different ways that you can notice the benefits of spray foam. First of all, you will see it in a change in your heating and cooling cost. The U.S. Department of Energy attributes about 40% of what we pay in energy cost to air leakage. That's not even referencing some of the other benefits. The fact that by sealing this attic, we're going to keep the moisture out of it as well. Moisture can lead to growth of mold because of the mold spores in the air. Those are introduced by having a vented attic system and then trapped into that attic. Over time, then that mold can start to grow.
Maybe this is a silly question, but do you do the insulation throughout the home? Is it basically in the attic? Where does this go?
In an existing home, in a retrofit environment where the walls are already closed up, the most cost-effective place for spray foam insulation is in the attic. Of all of the air leakage issues that are associated with insulation, 60 to 70% of them are directly related to the attic area. So that can be your largest source of energy waste.
This is really a silly question too. Would I notice anything, oftentimes we worry about getting critters up here. Does this also help kind of prevent all kinds of things from coming in and out? And you talked about mold, and I think mold is a huge concern for many of us. We hear a lot about black mold and illness.
Yes, and mold can only really be detected by having it properly tested.
Okay.
We all deal with mold and mold spores every day,
right,
everywhere we go in life. However, when it is condensed in an area where mold can grow and we're constantly exposed to it, that's where the potential for health risk evolves.
How in the world do you do this? Do you come? I can envision spacesuits, right? Help me with that. Yeah,
okay, and
right?
they are dressed in spacesuits.
Okay.
Our product is applied through mixing 2 different chemicals together.
Oh, fun! We'll have to do that one day.
We'll do it. We bring a truck out. We load a hose into your attic, and so that's all really that your house is exposed to is a hose with a spray gun.
Okay.
And a guy dressed in a spacesuit.
Now, if someone is interested in this, and the goal of doing a show like this is really to create awareness and to get you all interested in some of these products that are out there, what we want you all to do, right, is to give you a call. And do you do estimates, or can people come out and you can talk them through the process?
Absolutely. We give free estimates. It is our pleasure, and we will come out and show why you might have issues not only with moisture problems, if that's your concern, or how you can save on your energy cost, again, by changing out the traditional types of insulation to spray foam insulation.
Well, and it's not that we don't believe you and don't love to talk with you, but we have Carla here, and she's actually the homeowner. We thought it might be fun for you to talk with her about things that she's noticed and what it was like to actually have this done. Alan, it's a treat. So we're going to take a quick swap of the microphones here, and we're going to talk to Carla.
Thank you so much.
We are back, and Carla has joined us, and the guys went downstairs thinking we were going to talk about EcoFoam. I just want to say how very organized this attic is. That's really what I wanted to talk about today.
Yeah, great, thank you so much.
With all of the things that you have up here, and they're precious items, you now have the spray foam insulation. What have you noticed, and what kind of got you in gear about doing something about the attic?
Well, first of all, I noticed it's cool up here.
Yeah, it is.
Last year you could not be up here without sweating.
Okay.
And everything, in fact, we couldn't even put magazines and things up here because of the fact that it would just ruin them. But to start, I noticed that we had sweating on the unit, and then water dripping onto the floor, and then I noticed it was coming through the ceiling. So we called, an air conditioner company.
Right.
They came out. In fact, several of them came out, and one of them actually told us that we needed to replace the entire unit, which was, I think, about 4 years old. So we started looking around, and my builder had said, call EcoFoam. So we called EcoFoam. And
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Alan, right?
Yes, and Gary came out, very professional.
Oh, they're great.
Took a lot of time, went through the entire house, took measurements. I think it was up in the attic several times, and told us what we needed. And
here it is. It's always funny because as a designer, people think, oh, I'm going to be really good with color and things like that. To me, it's the shell of the house, the foundation, and the way that we do things like this that really make a huge difference. And like I said, walking up here, it really is climate controlled up here. It feels great.
Right. It's really, really nice. We've been able to put more things up here.
Yeah, look at this.
I'm not worried about it. And when they actually came out and did it, we left for a day.
Okay.
It was simple. I came back. The only thing different was the fact that it was foamed. Everything was in great shape. They did a great job.
Right.
And the interesting thing is that Gary is actually from my hometown.
Oh, where are you from?
Well, Stowe, Ohio.
Oh, he is?
Yes.
I'm an Ohio girl.
Yeah, his children went to Stowe High. My children went to Stowe High. Now, I didn't plan it that way. But the interesting thing is that, we have a lot in common, and he's actually become a friend.
See, that is pretty amazing. And again, when we first started doing EcoFoam, I was like, gosh, I wonder what we're going to talk about with EcoFoam. There's so many details, so many different things to learn. It's really a lot of fun. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And again, the attic looks great. Thank you for joining us here on Lynes on Design. There's a lot more to come.